You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the Darron Lee murder case, right? Former linebacker for the New York Jets, Chiefs, Bills. I think he even had a cup of coffee with the Raiders. I don't think he ever actually played for the Raiders. I would have to look, but he was a first-round pick out of Ohio State. Killed his girlfriend, I believe it was in Tennessee. And while he did it, or after he did it, he decided to go to the AI factory known as ChatGPT and try to get some help to cover up the murder. This is going to get interesting because, look, we've seen some good things come out of AI and some things that may not set too well with us, right? And this is going to be very interesting to see how this goes because the family of the victim plans to sue ChatGPT. And I know they were trying to sue Darron Lee for $50 million. The problem is, when I went and looked up how much he ever made in the NFL, it was right around $11 million. So I'm not sure where they think they're going to get that kind of money out of the guy, because I would assume there's no way he actually had that kind of money, unless I don't know what his current or his, well, now not current because he's in jail, but his current situation is as far as being employed. The murder case against former NFL first-round draft pick Darron Lee includes evidence that he used ChatGPT for advice on how to deal with a, quote, unresponsive person. Via Madison Sims of Local3News.com, the family of the victim in the case, Gabriella Perpetino, plans to pursue accountability from ChatGPT for facilitating those efforts. Quote, the defendant in this case engaged ChatGPT. I always want to say GTP. ChatGPT to cover up a crime. According to attorney C. Mark Warren told Sims, we feel like it's important that ChatGPT and all AI platforms have guardrails in place where they can engage, but not engage without consequences. Wow. There's an inherent ready, fire, aim quality to AI, with millions of users essentially serving as beta testers. Companies like OpenAI are using the real-time experiences of everyone, using the product to fine-tune it. That process will give rise to a wide range of problems. OpenAI faces litigation alleging that ChatGPT served as, quote, a suicide coach. I didn't know that. And there's more than one case. As to Lee, if Perpetio was unresponsive but still alive, Lee's decision to use ChatGPT for advice on how to handle the situation and ChatGPT's willingness to comply with the prompt may have squandered the last opportunity to save her, especially if the response from ChatGPT was anything other than, quote, call 911 right now. That's a good point. I mean, if it came back with advice on, like, anything other than call 911 immediately, that's going to get interesting. I'm sure when this thing goes to court, and I'm trying to remember if this trial is going to end up, one of these trials that's coming down the pipeline is going to be in public. It's probably going to be live streamed. This might be that trial when it actually goes to trial, the criminal side. I would assume maybe the civil side too. I don't know. When a life is lost, justice comes in various forms. Lee faces first-degree murder charges. A family has filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against him. ChatGPT and OpenAI may have liability too. The AI revolution will give rise to plenty of legal questions. The responsibility of such companies to program their products to act properly in situations will be determined either through regulation or litigation. For most new industry, there's a Wild West phase that plays out before legislative or regulatory components of state and or federal government can catch up. That's where the civil justice system becomes critical to the creation of clear standards through the application of settled principles aimed at forcing these companies to treat those who use their products with the adequate amount of care and respect. Oh, that's going to get interesting. That is going to get very interesting. How is that going to be handled? And it's going to get interesting because it's going to have bigger effects than just this case. It's going to have ongoing effects. It's kind of weird. I kind of remember something about hearing about the AI entities out there being used as a suicide coach. I seem to remember something like that coming around. And, you know, look, we've all seen Terminator, right? And I think a lot of us have the suspicion at some point, and we're all like, this may not be a good idea, because when does Skynet activate? When is Skynet going to activate? It's a good question. It's a good question. You know what I did not know? There is a lot of younger people out there that is not in favor of AI. I did not know that. I would have thought they would have been the primary proponent of using AI, but I've seen some backlash to various things over the last year where AI was used, and it seemed like the younger population was the ones particularly outraged. Kind of surprising. Now, I don't know if there's a political side of that because, example, they hate Elon Musk. Oh, Elon Musk is evil, blah, 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 the brainwashed. But you get my point I'm trying to make. This is going to be an interesting trial, actually. And, the only reason this is not getting more coverage is because of his name. Like he was only in the league for like 4 or 5 years. Eventually we're going to have another OJ kind of situation. This is sort of similar, except you don't have another family involved outside of the victim's family. We don't have multiple victims, and, I don't guess he had somebody that was mooching off of him, living in a guest house somewhere with long, straggly blonde hair. What was that guy's name? Cato Kalin? What was his name? I can't remember. Tell me what you think. This is interesting. This is going to be an interesting case. By the way, NFL still got a domestic violence issue. Just pointing that out. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.